Now, maybe you don't like the argument that I just made in point one about masturbation being a sin because of the idea of categorical sin. And that's fine. I think that's a pretty convincing argument. Maybe you want to see it specifically named in the Bible so that you know, okay, this is for sure a sin because it's directly said it's a sin in Scripture. That's the only way you'll accept that it is a sin. Well, I think you could see that in the Bible in Matthew 5, verses 27 through 30. Jesus said, "You have heard that it was said, 'You shall not commit adultery.' But I say to you that everyone who looks at a woman with lustful intent has already committed adultery with her in his heart. If your right eye causes you to sin, tear it out and throw it away. For it is better that you lose one of your members than that your whole body be thrown into hell. And if your right hand causes you to sin, cut it off and throw it away. For it is better that you lose one of your members than that your whole body go into hell." Now, what do you think Jesus is talking about here when he says your right hand causes you to sin? Let's put it in context. He just talked about adultery. He just talked about lusting with your eye. And then the very next thing he says is about committing a sin with your hand. I think it's very reasonable to conclude that Jesus is making a direct reference to masturbation here, saying that you should not do it. In my opinion, if he was to be any more descriptive, it would be crude. It would be something that shouldn't be said in Scripture. So just to drive this point home, I'm going to say this in a crude way to show you that it would not be fitting for it to be in Scripture. Jesus would have had to say, for it to be any more descriptive, if you fondle your penis with your hand and cause yourself to ejaculate, that is a sin. Do you think that that needs to be in there? Because I don't. I don't think it needs to be that descriptive. I think saying adultery sin, saying lusting with your eye is sin, then saying committing a sin with your hand directly in that context gets the picture across in a less crude way. So is it possible that Jesus was just randomly mentioning some other unrelated sin that you could commit with your right hand when he was just talking about lusting by yourself? Yes, it is possible. This is an inference. Jesus didn't directly say masturbation here or self-pleasure here, but I think he said the description that is most close to possibly just saying the word, which at that time wasn't a word that they used because really it's a medical term that's been created in modern society to describe this act.